They just didn't have the same opportunity I did. When my mom was passing away, and it was not long, didn't have long left to live, she called my brothers and sisters into her hospital room, and she made them promise that they would do all that they could to help me get to college and help me finish school, and they did. So through things like that, you learn some things and you see some things. And for me, in that early chapter of challenge, it taught me to encourage me to lean more into my faith, taught me about the importance of a loving family, taught me the importance of education and what a pathway to opportunity that is for all of us and for our children and our grandchildren and our country more broadly, and a variety of other things. But I want to talk to you today not just about my personal beliefs, but about our country. And one last thing about my personal background before I move on. I hope sometime you have a chance to meet my wife, Mary. I think you'd be delighted to meet her. She's a real sweetheart. She shares our views and values. I met her at the University of Minnesota. We've been married for 23 years. And when I was first thinking of running for governor back in 2001, you know, the race would look like it could be quite challenging. Jesse Ventura was the incumbent governor. It wasn't clear whether he was going to run again or not, but if he did, he was going to be a handful in more ways than one. And I came home after being majority leader in Minnesota House, and I said, honey, you know, we've done what we can here in Minnesota, and it's probably time to move on to the next chapter in our lives. And she came across the room in our house in Eagan, and she said, you can't quit. She grabbed me by the lapels. She said, you got to do this. There is no one else. Everything we've worked for, everything we've built up in terms of trying to get the state on a better path is going to be washed away. You got to get in there. You got to fight. And I thought, wow, I'm Rocky Balboa. And this is Adrian. And so I ran, and against some uphill odds. I wasn't well known. We didn't have a lot of money early on. And I won in 2002 and became governor of the state of Minnesota. And not too much longer after that, we had, of course, an inaugural in the state and a big budget deficit, and really had to get immersed into the job of being governor in those early months. And my schedule got out of control. And one night I came home, and Mary was holding me to account. She said, you know, you got to be home more. We got kids, and you're not just a governor, you're a dad. And we were having a pretty tense discussion about all that, and she was right. But at one point I said, honey, you know, don't you remember? I mean, you're the one who gave me that inspiring speech. You're the one who told me to do this. And then she looked at me and she said, yeah, but I never thought you'd win. She said, I just wanted you to get it out of your system so we can move on. But she believes we're going to win this, and I hope you can meet her sometime. But here's what I want to share with you today. We got to get this country back on track, and it starts with taking those common sense principles that made our country great and bringing them forward. And let's listen again to the wisdom and the perspective of our founding fathers. They not only talked about it, they put it in the documents of the foundations of this country. And the first one is this. We need to be a nation that turns toward God, not away from God. And this isn't the rhetoric of a politician. This is a cornerstone perspective that our founders embraced and believed. And it's in the founding documents of our country. It's in the founding documents of Iowa. It's in the founding documents of Minnesota. Let me give you a couple of quick examples. The Declaration of Independence says we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. It doesn't say we're endowed by our member of Congress. It doesn't say we're endowed by our bureaucrat. It doesn't say we're endowed by the county recorder or the state senator, with all due respect. It says we're endowed by our Creator. The Minnesota Constitution says we, the people of Minnesota, grateful to God for our civil and religious liberties. And then it goes on from there to talk about the importance of perpetuating those blessings. I share that with you because God